I've tested a lot of mobile phones and my favorites are generally the rugged type. Not only because they offer strength and durability than other phones don't, but also because you often don't need to sacrifice any level of performances, while also they look incredibly stylish and cool. Now this should be exactly one of those type of phones. This is the OUKITEL WP1. It's one of the latest edition from the OUKITEL range, from the OUKITEL brand. And this is a very cool feature too that I've not seen on this type of mobile phones before. So let's unbox it together. So the basic characteristics are all there. We have a 8-core processor, 4 GB of RAM, 64 of ROM. There is a dual SIM card tray, or you can use one SIM card and then use a TF card to expand the memory. Inside the box we have, of course, the phone over here. Is a 5.5-inch screen. We'll get to it in a second. I received an outside box for the charger. This is a fast charger, 5709 volt, 2 ampere. So it seems that the phone is allowed to charge pretty quickly as well. Further box in here with Type-C adapter. So this is for the headphones. We have a Type-C adapter to a USB Type-A and the charging cable, again Type-C. Again, it's a lovely characteristics to have a Type-C because it's the modern standard. The other box, totally empty, that's fine. In here, I assume we also have the instruction manual and a few bits and pieces. A SIM card tray removal over there. And what else? The certificate of warranty from OUKITEL. Let's get this out of the way though, because what I want to focus is the phone. I mentioned earlier on that there is a characteristic of this phone that I've not seen before for this type of mobile phones, and the clue is just behind here. This is a phone that supports wireless charging, which I find incredibly useful, in particular for this type of phones. Underneath we have a well-protected USB port over there, and on the side we have probably, there we go, a cover for the SIM tray where we can find then the little drawer for the 2 SIM cards or the SIM card and TF card. Let's turn it on. Let's remove all the protection front and back. I can see that there is also already a plastic cover on it. It is quite well put on it. There are a couple of little bubbles there, but not exactly in the way. Let's remove the back as well, and then we can turn it on and test it. Just to give you an indication, the fingerprint reader is pretty responsive. So far I didn't have any issue with regards of identifying my fingers, and as you can see, comes up pretty quickly. Speaker is at the back there and one on the top over here. Cameras on the 2 sides, dual camera at the back with the flash. I really like the design of the back part. Don't know if you can see it, guys. It's a bit of a fingerprint magnet. It is plastic, but it has a very good design over there. And of course you can see the logo for wireless charging. I really like that. Even with a power bank, as you can see, once the phone is in position, you will see then the light for charging comes on. There we go, charge has been linked. And again, once the phone is off, you put it on the wireless charger and then it starts charging. Of course, by using a power bank, the charge is not as quick, but I really like that feature on this type of phones. Also because at that point you don't need to open the charging port all the time. This comes anyway with a 5000 mAh battery, so there is plenty of juice in that. Few other features that I would like to show you. The software itself is nice, is responsive, and is quite basic. These are all the icons that come pre-installed. I've then installed a few more on the side over there just to test the phone. With regards to the themes, another very interesting feature, you can choose between different themes, some a bit more grown up than others in fairness, but there are plenty of options there with regards of how you want to customize all the icons. And it is a very nice touch because some of the themes are very different one to the other, and generally it's not something that is common in this type of phone. So again, it's not intrusive at all, but it's a very nice touch and a thumbs up with regards of that as well. let's go straight into a few of the tests that I've run already. So Antutu benchmark to test the microprocessor and memory and everything else. Again, this phone will not break any records with regards of the power of it, but it does use a P23 processor, a Helio P23 from MediaTek. It is a well-known processor. It is a processor and is quite often used for this type of machines, and is actually very, very good. Graphically, is very decent. With regards of the characteristics of power consumption, is very limited, so it does keep the phone running for a long time. And of course, added with the 5000 mAh batteries, the phone lasts me for about a day and a half, potentially even 2 days if I don't use very extensive and very demanding applications. There you can see all the 8 cores. Of course, if you start playing very demanding games, it goes through the battery much quicker. But overall, I actually quite like the design and the style and the choices with regards of the type of processor, memory, and everything else. I do find it a very good choice with regards of this type of range of phones. So you know, this is under 200 pounds or around the 200 pounds mark, and so far is absolutely excellent. I've tested also the cameras already. I will put a few pictures. Okay, for anyone interested, this is a selfie camera of the phone, of course, doing a video. Of course, you have the normal features like video, photo. You have face beauty, which is quite common sometimes in the Oriental market, not so much in Britain, in fairness, so I will not particularly be using that, but some people might like it. SLR is quite an interesting feature. You can actually lock onto something, and then from there you can decide how much you want to blur the other objects around it or not. As you can see, at the moment nothing is blurred. If then I zoom onto something and increase the blurriness field, as you can see, everything else on the side gets blurred. With regards of finding the edges of the object, is not bad at all. It works reasonably well. Panorama feature, again, quite common. So diving into a couple of games in the meantime. Speaker at the back is doing a pretty decent job. As you can hear, it's very loud. The bass overall is actually decent as well. The one on the top is used mostly for conversation, so no noise is coming out of there while playing games. With regards to the graphic, as you can see, this is a pretty demanding game. However, it's playing very smoothly, very well. Of course, it's not exactly easy for me to play while I'm talking, so I will probably end up embarrassing myself, but there we go. The screen is also very clear. It's possible to identify object in the distance without too much of an effort. This is one of the most demanding games that you can find at the moment. I would not say that it's 100% smooth. In fairness, there is a bit of a stutter here and there, but as I said, you cannot find anything more demanding than this. So overall, if you're playing this, I would say that you can play more or less anything. Here is another very graphically demanding game. This is Asphalt 9, which is already a modern classic. As you can see, the phone is actually playing the game incredibly well. We are now on YouTube, and as you can see, even this works incredibly well. The scrolling is absolutely fine, everything works smoothly. This phone comes with 4 GB of RAM, so again, it doesn't suffer from any lag in any way with regards to several applications open. Of course, you still have the pinch and zoom type of system. As you can see, the phone has a bit of a chin and bezel, but I don't mind that at all. After all, it's a rugged phone, and I actually quite like that, in fairness. It's not intrusive at all. So, volume-wise, it is pretty loud. With regards to the quality of it, it's not too bad, potentially lacking a tiny bit on the bass and trebles, but overall actually is not that bad at all, I feel. I think OUKITEL with the WP1 has done an incredibly good job. I was trying to think about faults with this phone, and potentially if I need to nitpick, one thing that I don't like is then the software for the camera goes automatically into face beauty mode, which I'm not a big fan of it. It is quite common for the Oriental market, not so much over here. But this nitpicking is just enough to go onto photo and the problem is sorted. But overall, the phone is incredible. I personally like the rugged feel of it. It's nice, it's sturdy, it's solid, without actually adding much weight to it. The fingerprint reader is incredibly quick and responsive. The cameras are actually very good for the price. The speaker might not be top range and is lacking a bit of bass and trebles, but it does the job very well, and it's definitely loud enough. The screen is actually very, very bright, so even in very sunny condition, it works brilliantly. 5000 mAh battery, not a problem with that. Nice and large, so it keeps the phone going for a long time. Processor might be not top of the range, but it's fine, it's responsive. The software works well. 4 GB of RAM, plenty. 64 of ROM, and again, with that I can store as many pictures as I want, and also with the possibility of extending the memory through a TF card is an extra bonus. Or otherwise I can put 2 SIM cards, one for work and one for pleasure. Overall, the phone is stupendous, and again, I do love the wireless charging feature. It's something that is not common at this price range, and it works very, very well. At £200, I would say if you're looking for a phone on that price range, definitely consider this as well. Personally, I love it. I think it's actually a very good phone. And I noticed that OUKITEL has come out now with a few different phones, and they are getting better and better. And I think it's a brand that is establishing itself very, very well. And it's kind of found their sweet spot to come up with phones that are at a good price and with fantastic performances and quality of it. So yes, this is my review for the WP1. Personally, I really like it. And I will say, guys, if you like this video, please subscribe, it will really help me. And of course, thumbs up if you like the review, down, well, if you don't. I'm happy to answer any question you might have, so if there is anything, write down below and I'll see what I can do. Thank you, and see you at the next one.